Welcome to another episode of SaltAir. My name is Tom Hatch. I'm the creator of Salt and the CTO of SaltStack. I'm here again with Joseph Hall, one of our engineers, and also the author of the Mastering SaltStack book. Normally I don't put a plug in, but he works for me, so he's okay.
Don't forget about extending SaltStack as well.
And that's actually close to what we're going to be talking about this time around. We're going to talk about how to extend Salt by creating a new state module so that can be used from Salt's state system. And so we were going to make a module that just wraps doing a shell command as a demonstration. So how would we start by doing this, Joseph?
Well, the first thing we need to do is create a directory for that state module to live in. So we'll go ahead and do make dir serve salt, and we'll call it underscore state.
States.
Let's go ahead and create a file in there. We'll call it mystate.py. Okay.
So all we've got to do now is define a function.
Plain and simple. And we're passing in.
Whenever we write a state module, the first argument to any function needs to be name. That name argument is a critical component of the state system. The next thing that's really important when we're writing these is to make sure that we're returning the right data. The state system runs off of a returned Python dictionary that has 4 components in it. And so we're going to define that Python dictionary, and the 4 components inside of it is going to be the name, the changes, the comment, and the result. So the name should always be the name that's passed in. Changes is a dictionary, and that allows us to list whatever changed when we ran that routine. The result is either going to be true, false, or none. The none result is to say we were going to do something, but we didn't. This is what we would have done. And then the comment allows us to just write anything about what happened to be human readable. And so what are we going to do with this state function, Joseph?
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and do a command.run.
Fantastic. That should be easy and quick for us to demonstrate. And so Joseph is using the dunder salt built-in that we have inside of the state system so that he can cross-call another function that exists in the remote execution library. And in this case, he's calling command.run, and then he can just pass the name forward.
What command do you think we should run, Tom?
Well, let's just pass the name for it. So whatever name it is that they pass in is what we run.
Okay. Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What are we going to do next, Tom?
So what we need to do now is make sure that the changes that happened, which in this case will be the output from the command, show up inside of changes. And so we want to edit the return structure and say changes output is going to be the output of that command. Excellent. And then we need to make sure that our result is true because we successfully executed the command. And then we just return return the structure. All right, let's save this, and now we can distribute it out to our systems by calling a sync states or a sync all.
Okay.
All right, so now that we've got the file saved, we can sync that down to the minion.
Now we're going to go ahead and run a salt util. Now we're just going to go ahead and do sync all. This is going to sync all the states, all the modules, and so on. You can see that we've handed down a state called states.mystate. Right?
Right, and so now to run that state, we just need to set up an SLS file that's going to call it.
Okay, so this is going to live inside the serve salt directory. First off, we're going to call, we're going to create salt, what do we call it? Some state?
Sure.
How does that sound? .sls?
Yep.
Okay.
So of course when we're defining a state, the first thing we have is what gets passed into the name value. So we can, in this case, we're going to run the ping command and call out to an IP address. And then we define the state, which actually wasn't command.run. Let's see, what was it called?
Yes. I believe it's called mystate. Dot.
I think it was myfunc.
Myfunc, that's right. Okay.
All right, and that's all we should have to do. And so now we can run it with a saltstar state.sls. Or a state.apply. Sometimes I forget that we moved away from the original ones that I wrote a long time ago.
Right.
So yeah, state.apply, and then we can pass in the name of the state, and we're good to go.
Well, we're going to want a top file. Right?
Nope, we don't need a top file. We can just run the SLS directly.
Okay. So let's go ahead and run state.apply and then some state. Look good to you, Tom?
Yep.
So that went ahead and issued our ping command, and we can see the output from that is pretty much what we expect.
Fantastic. So let's open up that Python file again.
Okay.
So just for a quick recap, inside of the state module Python file that we created, we define the function. That function has to take name as its first argument. And then the follow-on there is that we have to define the return structure, which has the name, changes, comment, and result, and then we return that structure. And that's all it takes to extend Salt State System, and then that function and that module is fully operational. All right, thanks for coming in for another SaltAir episode. Until next time.